Hi, I'm Chuck Colson. We've come to an incredibly serious moment in American history. We're facing the issue of whether we will continue to enjoy freedom of religion or not. A few years ago, a few of us got together and thought we might someday get to the point where civil disobedience was called for. In fact, we wrote in the Manhattan Declaration, if you remember, and you should go back and read it if you don't, we will render ungrudgingly to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but we will never render to Caesar what belongs to God. And we made a covenant that we would stand together. 500,000 people signed that. What's going on today is a steady drumbeat of attacks on the Christian church and on freedom of religion. This administration has redefined it. They're calling it freedom of worship. Freedom of worship is a private act. The Chinese communists allow that. Freedom of religion is living your faith in public. Right now, the Department of Health and Human Services has told the Catholic Church that it must include in all of its insurance policies for its employees the availability of contraception and abortifacients. So it's basically saying that the Catholic Church has to violate its conscience, violate its doctrine, or else not be able to exist under Obamacare. It is an incredible clash. And so far, the administration has shown no willingness to give in. They allowed a year for Catholic organizations to conform. I've talked to many of the bishops. They won't conform. They are holding the line. We have come to the point, I say this very soberly, when if there isn't a dramatic change in circumstances, we as Christians may well be called upon to stand in civil disobedience against the actions of our own government. That would break my heart as a former Marine captain loving my country. But I love my God more. And you all may have to face that. Look, what do we have to do? We got to get people to sign the Manhattan Declaration. Then we got to get them not only to sign it, but start talking to the neighbors. Then you got to get the information on what's going on right now. The battle with the Catholic Church is just one manifestation of it. It's one that's going to blow up fast in our face. But there are lots of others out there. There's a whole range of issues. We can give you resources if you'll come to manhattandeclaration.org. We need you also to get all your friends involved. Many of the Catholic bishops are sending out letters to all of their priests telling them what they must preach about on a Sunday morning to alert the congregation. Every evangelical should be doing the same thing. It isn't a Catholic issue. It's an issue whether in America we are going to respect freedom of religion, freedom of conscience, the first freedom, or whether for the first time in American history we're going to make people pay for something and do something that violates their conscience. I don't know about you, but I've made up my mind, sober as that decision would have to be, that I will stand for the Lord regardless of what my state tells me. God bless you.
Please, as Chuck Colson just said, sign the Manhattan Declaration today. Go to manhattandeclaration.org. Also at the Manhattan Declaration website, we have posted a petition to President Obama urging him to reverse the Health and Human Services decision. Chuck Colson is urging all believers to sign the petition to the president. Again, that's at manhattandeclaration.org.
Our declaration says, we will ungrudgingly render under Caesar what is Caesar's, for that too is a commandment of the Lord. But we will not render unto Caesar what is God's.